You are sitting on your couch, staring at a screen that contains literally millions of hours of brand new entertainment. The modern world has built an endless, glowing library of content just for you. You have access to thrilling new documentaries, massive blockbuster movies, and critically acclaimed dramas, but you do not click on any of them. Instead, you scroll right past the endless, overwhelming sea of choices, and you open up that exact same sitcom or that identical comfort movie that you have already watched 1,000 times before. You know every single line of dialogue by heart. You know exactly how the jokes land, and you know exactly how the story ends. Society often has a very strange, subtle judgment for this exact behavior. Your friends might tease you about it. They might ask why you stubbornly refuse to step out of your entertainment comfort zone. They might secretly wonder if you are just being intellectually lazy. They tell you that you are wasting your time and completely missing out on the golden age of television. But what if your habit of repeatedly watching the same old things has absolutely nothing to do with laziness? What if choosing the familiar is actually a highly advanced, deeply protective mechanism built deep inside your brain? Today, we are going to explore the deeply fascinating psychology behind why we endlessly rewatch our favorite shows. You are about to discover why hitting play on that dusty old episode is not a waste of your valuable time. It is actually a profound psychological tool for modern emotional survival. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why your brain craves the familiar. Let's look at the incredible science behind your repetitive television habits. Psychology reveals that there are 3 distinct, highly powerful motives driving you back to the exact same scenes over and over again. The first motive is all about surviving the modern age of information. We live in a world that constantly bombards us with relentless, unpredictable chaos. From the moment you wake up, your brain is violently assaulted by breaking news, urgent emails, and stressful life decisions. Your nervous system is constantly vibrating with the quiet, exhausting anxiety of the unknown. You spend your entire day trying to predict what will happen next in the real world. When you finally sit down on the couch at night, your brain is completely desperate for a deep sense of security. If you start a brand new show, you are actually asking your brain to do more heavy work. A new plot means new, unpredictable uncertainty. You have to worry about the fate of the characters. You have to figure out the hidden motives of the villains. You have to process sudden, shocking plot twists that spike your adrenaline. Your brain simply does not want any more suspense. It wants a solid, reliable anchor. When you put on your favorite, heavily rewatched show, you completely eliminate the anxiety of the unknown. Your brain knows exactly what is going to happen in the next scene. It knows that the massive conflict will be neatly resolved in exactly 22 minutes. It knows the couple will get back together, the hero will survive, and the tension will safely fade away. This creates a massive, soothing wave of emotional stability inside your mind. You are not just mindlessly watching a screen. You are actively building a psychological safe room for your tired nervous system. You are taking control of your environment and creating a tiny, highly predictable world where absolutely nothing can hurt you. That is not laziness. That is a brilliant, necessary strategy for deep emotional regulation. But maybe your daily life is not filled with chaotic, overwhelming anxiety. Maybe you actually belong to the second psychological group. This second group uses familiar shows to actively heal from intense cognitive depletion. Think deeply about what you actually do for a living every single day. You might work in a highly demanding field as a relentless problem solver. You spend long hours operating at maximum mental capacity, heavily forced to be analytical and solution-oriented. By the time the sun goes down, your prefrontal cortex, the decision-making center of your brain, is completely exhausted. If you try to watch a complex new thriller, your brain has to aggressively pay attention. It has to track the timeline, remember character names, and analyze visual clues. Your tired mind simply refuses to do that heavy lifting anymore. It desperately craves the soothing, weightless comfort of total autopilot. When you turn on a movie you have practically memorized, your brain gets to completely clock out of reality. You can look down at your phone or grab a glass of water and miss 5 minutes of dialogue without ever feeling lost. The show simply becomes gentle, familiar background noise. Your brain gets to sit back, completely relax its grip, and slowly recharge its heavily depleted batteries. Your habit of rewatching is absolutely not a sign of a boring or lazy mind. It is the ultimate psychological proof of how hard your highly intelligent brain works all day long. It is the quiet, necessary rest that allows you to be brilliant and sharp again tomorrow. This brings us directly to the third and perhaps the most beautiful psychological motive. Many people return to the exact same films to indulge a quiet, deeply nostalgic longing. When you watch a beloved movie from 10 years ago, you are not just watching the actors on the screen. You are actively, emotionally reconnecting with the exact person you were when you first saw it. You are building an invisible, emotional bridge to a simpler, lighter version of your own life. Neuroscience shows us something absolutely incredible about how human memory actually works. When you revisit a deeply familiar scene, your brain does not just coldly remember the plot points, it actually recycles the exact same neurochemicals you experienced the very first time you watched it. Your brain literally bathes itself in a warm, chemical soup of comfort, joy, and profound safety. It is exactly like wrapping a heavy, warm blanket around your fragile nervous system. In a modern world that aggressively forces you to constantly grow and change, this nostalgia is a vital psychological anchor. It beautifully reconnects you with your own deeply personal history. You are entirely allowed to maintain a fierce, emotional connection to these old, familiar scenes. You can completely ignore the loud people who tell you to always chase the newest trend. You do not need to constantly consume new, stressful media just to prove you are an interesting person. There is immense, quiet power in knowing exactly what brings you genuine peace. You can proudly fire up that old, highly predictable sitcom. You can confidently recite the exact lines to a movie you have watched 20 times before. You can let the familiar, beautiful music wash over you, knowing exactly what perfect note comes next. Do you recognize yourself in this quiet, highly repetitive habit? If you do, you can finally drop the heavy, pointless burden of modern entertainment guilt. You do not owe a single person an explanation for why you still love these old, dusty things so much. You are simply giving your highly complex brain exactly what it needs to survive the relentless noise of the world. You are fiercely protecting your peace. You are deeply healing your mind, and you are beautifully, quietly coming home to yourself.